All right, let's get right into it. There's been a huge announcement. Kalshi, which is a regulated U.S. prediction market, is bringing its contracts on-chain, and they're doing it on Solana. Now, you might hear that and think, okay, another partnership, but this is so much more than that. This is a real signal that a whole new market structure is starting to form, one that could totally change where we find price discovery and how capital moves around. And this quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. We're not just talking about a company trying to get more customers. No, this is about creating an entirely new type of asset, something that lives at the crossroads of derivatives, information markets, and yeah, even narrative trading. It is, for sure, a pivotal moment. So, to really get why this is such a game changer, we first have to understand what prediction markets even are, and more importantly, the one big problem that has always held them back. Okay, so what is a prediction market? Well, at its core, it's all about putting a price on probabilities. Asking questions like, will this ETF get approved, or is that protocol going to launch on schedule? These markets take all that chatter, all that belief about the future, and they turn it into a single tradable price. But here's the thing. This has always been the problem. Historically, these markets have been completely isolated. All the money, all the data, all the trading activity, it was all trapped inside one platform, behind one user interface. And that made it basically impossible to plug them into the bigger financial world. And that brings us to the big unlock. The key that's about to blow these markets wide open is something we talk about all the time: tokenization. Yup, this one word says it all: siloed. The old way meant everything was stuck inside one app, with no way to connect it or build on top of it or do anything interesting with it. And this is the solution. Tokenization just shatters those walls. It takes these little, isolated contracts about future events and turns them into open, composable assets that anyone can access on a public blockchain. So what do we actually mean by tokenized? Well, think of it like this. These event contracts become universal Lego bricks. All of a sudden, they can be plugged into aggregators. They can be bundled into really complex and cool trading strategies. You can track them at the wallet level to see what smart money is betting on. And you can trade them anywhere. Absolutely anywhere there's liquidity. The platform isn't the center of the universe anymore. The liquidity is. So the big question is, why now? This isn't just some random product launch that came out of nowhere. It's happening because three really powerful forces are all coming together at the exact same time. It's kind of the perfect storm. So why is this time different? Well, for one, we finally have some regulatory clarity in the US. That's huge. Second, there's just so much deep liquidity on chain now, enough to get a whole new asset class off the ground from day one. And third, the infrastructure is finally there. The aggregators, the analytics tools, they're all mature and ready to go. The entire support system is in place. And this leads us to what I think is the most important shift of all. We're not just making a new toy for traders. What we're really doing is building a direct pipeline between the flow of information and the flow of capital. We're creating a brand new, powerful signal engine for the entire market. I mean, just think about that for a second. Capital-weighted belief systems. It's such a powerful idea. These markets aren't just about what people think. They're about what people are willing to bet on. And that one simple fact is what makes the signal they produce so incredibly clean and powerful. Let's compare, right? On one hand, you have social media sentiment. We all know it's a mess. It's noisy, it's easy to manipulate, the signal is just weak. But in a prediction market, you literally have to put your money where your mouth is. That forces real conviction, and it filters out all the noise, creating this incredibly high-fidelity, forward-looking signal. So here's the kicker. Once you have this clean signal, and it's on-chain, it basically becomes a tradable data layer. We can start to track it, just like we track smart money wallets or big narrative shifts. For savvy traders, this is a whole new source of edge. So what does all this mean for how we trade? It means the edge, the alpha, is actually moving. It's shifting one step earlier in time. This is a massive meta shift in the game. I mean, just look at how markets have evolved. You started with spot markets, which just react to stuff after it happens. Then you got perpetuals, which amplify those reactions with leverage. But prediction markets, they let you anticipate the events before they even happen. You're moving ahead in the timeline. Okay, so let's spell it out. What does this really practically mean for traders who are in the trenches every day? How does this change things? The edge is no longer about who can react to the news the fastest. The real edge is now about getting positioned during what's called the probability expansion phase. That's that sweet spot where the market is just starting to price in a future event. That's where you find the biggest asymmetric returns, the huge gains, because you're getting in before everyone else has caught on. And really, this is the ultimate takeaway. Think about it. AMMs made liquidity a permissionless public good. Perpetuals made leverage a 24/7 global product. Well, tokenized prediction markets are doing something just as profound. They're turning the future itself into a directly tradable asset. It's a brand new core building block for all of crypto. So, I'll leave you with this final thought. In this new world that's emerging, winning isn't going to be about who has the strongest opinion or the best gut feeling. It's going to be about who has the strongest data pipelines, who can process these new on-chain signals faster and more accurately than everyone else. The game is shifting from trading price to trading probability, and that changes everything.